All right, Bismillah. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, everyone. My name is Ravina Putra, and today I would like to be the host of the Weekend Tech Talk. So, in this occasion, I would like to talk about quick introduction to frameworks. So, before we start, maybe we should pray to Allah so he can give us a lot of information and a lot of understanding, and hopefully will give a full knowledge to our brain. All right. Okay, let's start to our material. So, a quick introduction to frameworks. First of all, what does framework means? So, framework in this context is talking about a framework of a website. So, I will give you an example of what is a framework. So, framework, web application framework software. So framework is a software or as we can say a template from each individual web application. Like for example, there's a lot of frameworks that we can choose here. There's Laravel, Ruby on Rails, ASP.NET Core, Django, ASP.NET, and all of the example that have been showed here. So frameworks actually have a lot of benefits to the people that use it because why? It's a framework really shorten the pace of your coding. Like for example, if you want try to make a whole navigation bar on your website, it will take like uh, 15 or 20 lines of code in HTML plus the CSS itself. But if you use a framework, you can shorten it. Like for example, you can shorten it to 5 lines only, and then the CSS is included in that whole framework itself. So there's two different types of framework here. So the first type of framework here is all about the front end framework. So the framework which is focused on the design and the template of the website. And there's also a framework focused on the back end section. As we can see, Laravel is one of the example of the many back end frameworks out there. It uses PHP and also JavaScript to allocate data to your database and then reshow it again with another framework, which you can use Bootstrap or Tailwind. So, what is Bootstrap and Tailwind that I just recently said it? So, Bootstrap and Tailwind also a framework that a lot of programmers uses it. So, I will give an example. What is a Bootstrap first? Right there. It's a bit laggy here, so it's gonna be take some long. All right, as you can see over here, Bootstrap. So this is one of the example of a lot of uh, frameworks out there. This is Bootstrap. Build fast, responsive sites with Bootstrap. So actually, if you want to use a framework, it's easy. Whether you just include via CDN or you either install a package and then you use the package inside your Visual Studio Code or the software that you use to create those web page that you want. So yeah, this is a little example of what does Bootstrap provide you. Yeah, a lot of things that Bootstrap actually provide, and from each frameworks they usually give you a things or an introduction or even some points here, some points that you can put down in your website. Like for example, let's see on the containers over here. So Bootstrap provide containers. Containers are fundamental building block of Bootstrap. They contain, pad, and align your content with the given device or viewport. So yeah, as you can see over here, there's a lot of things that Bootstrap provided you, and then Bootstrap also give you the knowledge of how to use this thing and how to use that thing. So you are not like a caveman while using a framework. They will guide you on how to use it. Like for example, over here, a grid. So it's three columns, which if you use a pure HTML, it would look really, really bad, and you need to have an additional CSS on it. While using a framework, it shorten out all of your code. For example, like this, you only need to write HTML and done. The CSS included inside the code. And that's how framework will save your life. No, not save your life like, oh, I'm dying, blah, blah, blah. No, but save your life on shortening your time on making a code or making something that requires a lot of code, a lot of codes. So yeah, Bootstrap provided a lot of things from ranging from containers until Z-index. Yeah, from just some low normal layouts to utilities. Yeah, something that you will take a lot of time if you just use a normal HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Why? Because framework also included three of those things. Yeah, three of those things in just one string of a code. Well, not one string of a code, but they will certainly shorten up your code. Like for example, over here, you want to make a pop over like this. Yeah, it's just easy. If you use JavaScript or CSS or yeah, those pure HTML, it's gonna be take a long time for you to make those little things like this. What meanwhile, if you use a Bootstrap, you can make these things very easily, and they give you a full understanding and a full guide on how to use those things. Oh yeah, also, I'll give you another example of the framework that I've mentioned before. That's called Tailwind. So, what is Tailwind, Vino? So, Tailwind is basically the same as Bootstrap. So, every framework has their own way to type things inside it. Every framework has their own usage and their own capabilities on how to make things. So it depends if the framework is updated or not, because many of programmer use Tailwind instead of Bootstrap. Because why? Because of its accessibility and uh, its it weighs on higher uh, customization. Yeah, and then also Tailwind, if you compare to Bootstrap, is more cleaner than its counterpart. Because why? Because Tailwind has a lot of development and also updates from each month, not month, or maybe they have a lot of progress on updating things. And then also Tailwind included documentation on what you should do and then what you should add, something like that. And they've also provided you with versions. Same like Bootstrap. Bootstrap also provided you with versions on what you should choose to you. So yeah, it's basically the same on Bootstrap, Tailwind, on those things. So these two main frameworks focuses us on the front end part. So, how about the back end part, you may ask? So, don't worry, because a lot of programmers have committed their days and they're struggling on making a framework for us. Yes. And this is the back end version of a framework. It's called Warfel, the PHP framework for web artisans. Yeah. This thing will help you. I'm not kidding. It really, really helped me on creating a working website that has and connect to database. Yep, it is really, really helpful. You can choose a version and then they will give you a full guide on how to do it. Get started with PHP and Laravel faster than ever using Laravel Herd. Yeah. Yeah, that's all. That's all. That's all you want to put inside your website. They shorten it. They give you a full, we can say, template that you can customize it very, very easily with a full understanding on how to use it, because they give you a tutorial on how to do it and then give you an example of how they do it, and then uh, give you yeah, a lot of documentation for you to upgrade your website using their frameworks. So for those of you that have never ever used a framework before, I think you should start to use one. Because why? Because frameworks are really, really helpful on creating a lot of things. It really gives you a full understanding on website itself, or a lot of programming itself. Really, really need something that will cut the time gap on how you create something. Because why? Because a lot of programmers have this same issue on time. Yeah, they have a lot of issue of times, like if they procrastinating or something. It's up to the programmer itself. But if they have uh, presented by their clients with a big program or big projects, they may use frameworks. So maybe we will start on the Bootstrap itself. I will give you a few simple understanding on each framework that I've presented. Okay, start with Bootstrap. All right, introduction. Get started with Bootstrap. Bootstrap is a powerful, feature-packed front-end toolkit. Build anything from prototype to production in minutes. Quick start. Get started by including Bootstrap production-ready CSS and JavaScript via CDN without any need for any build steps. See it in practice with this Bootstrap pen demo. So yeah, all I need to do is just copy and paste things, and then let the magic happens. Create a new index.html file in your project root. Include the meta name viewport tag as well for proper responsive behavior in mobile devices. Not only the framework provided you with a framework itself, but it also provided you with a framework of a responsive website. So it really, really helps you. Really, really cut a lot of times on if you use a normal HTML, a lot of the times will be take because they will waste it on how to make it looks good and responsive. Yes, really, really, really annoying. Responsive are really annoying. The responsive is a big nightmare to all the website developer. I'm not kidding. I'm not even kidding. So Bootstrap are really, really provide not even only Bootstrap, all of the framework. We don't really know if all those framework provided us with uh, responsive website. But as I know, all of these three frameworks really provided us with really, really nice, responsive, really, really nice, responsive. So, second, include Bootstrap CSS and JavaScript. Place the link tag in the head for our CSS and the script tag for our JavaScript bundle, including Popper for positioning, drop downs, poppers, and tooltips before the closing body. Learn more about our CDN links. Yeah, and also you can include Popper and our JavaScript separately if you don't plan to use if you don't plan to use drop downs, popovers, or tooltips. Save some kilobytes by not including poppers. Okay, then finish. Hello world. Open the page in your browser of choice to see your Bootstrap page. Now you can start building with Bootstrap by creating your own layout, adding dozens of components, and utilizing our official examples. It's that easy. Just 3 steps, and boom, you're done. You enter the world of framework. CDN links as reference here are our primary CDN links. Those are the Bootstrap CDN links. For you guys that really want to use it, you may go to the Bootstrap website, or you can just screenshot all of the CDN links and then use it on your website. Well, right, let's continue. You can also use the CDN to fetch any of our additional builds listed in content page. Next steps. Read a bit more about importing global environment settings that Bootstrap utilizes here. A lot of steps that they give. It's really, really uh, nice for them to give all of the steps. Yeah, really, they really look on the people that they use. Yeah, that uses it. Uh, Bootstrap really care to the people that use their framework. They give us a full understanding on how to do this, and then give us the steps on how to do that. So it is a really satisfaction for us as a framework user to do something using their framework. Looking to use Bootstrap as a module with script type model. Please refer to our using Bootstrap as a module section. JavaScript components. Curious with components explicitly require our JavaScript and Popper. If you are at all unsure about the general page structure, keep reading for an example page template. Alerts for dismissing, button for toggling, states and checkbox radio functionally, cursors for all slides behaviors, controls and indicators, collapse for toggling visibly of content, drop downs for displaying and positioning, also recalled as popper, models for displaying position and scroll behavior, navbar for extending or collapse of canvas, uh, plugins to implement responsive behaviors, nav with the tab plugin for toggling, content pane of canvases for displaying positioning and scroll behavior, scroll spy for scroll behavior and navigation updates, toast for displaying and dismissing, tooltips and popovers for displaying and positioning, also requires poppers. Importing globals. Bootstrap employs a handful of importing global styles and settings, all of which are almost exclusively geared towards the normalization of cross-browser styles. Let's dive in. Yeah, it's all basic things on how you install and how you get to know how to use Bootstrap. This is also a guide on how to download Bootstrap. So there's 2 ways on how you use Bootstrap, via cloud, or you just download the own framework and then install that framework inside your website. And I preferably use the CDN, because why? Because CDN you just use it on cloud. You don't really need to install and then put it inside your web. Because if you're using a CDN, you just need to copy and paste all the thing that they given to you, and then yeah, you can do you can use the framework instantly. Okay. So now let's jump to the Tailwind, right? Something wrong here. All right, let's go instantly go to documentation. Yeah, let's see over here. Installation. Get started with Tailwind CSS. Tailwind CSS works by scanning all of your HTML files, JavaScript components, and any other templates for class names, generating the corresponding styles, and then writing them to a static CSS file. It's fast, flexible, and reliable with zero runtime. Yeah, so they give you an example and not example, a guide on how you install. There's a lot of way for you to install Tailwind. First, via Tailwind CLI, then using Pods CSS, framework guides, and then play CDN. All right. It's also install Tailwind CSS. Install Tailwind CSS via npm and create your tailwind.config.js file. Yeah, this is the guide on how you install all the Tailwind. What to read next? Get familiar with some of the core concepts that make Tailwind CSS different from writing traditional CSS. Utility first fundamental. Using utility first workflow to build a complex components from a constrained set of primitive utilities. Responsive design. Build fully responsive user interfaces that adapt to any screen size using responsive modifiers. Hover, focus, and other state style elements in interactive state like hover, focus, and more using conditional modifiers. Dark mode optimizes your site for dark mode directly in your HTML using dark mode modifier. Reusing style. Manage duplication and keep your project maintainable by creating reusable abstraction. And then the last, customizing the framework. Customize the framework to match your brand and extend it with your own custom styles. So I will give you an example why why Tailwind is better than Bootstrap. Because Tailwind itself, they really has a lot of customization in it. Like for example, if you use a Bootstrap, you only can use that particular elements without adding a customized element. While Tailwind itself, you want to add this specific font. Yeah, you want to add this specific line in here, and then you want to make it custom, not using that same old framework that you use on a Tailwind. You can usually use yours because Tailwind will support you on customizing your framework to match your own brand, just like they say. All right, and then yeah, all of these things we can explore it by yourself later. If you want to know more, what does Tailwind provide you? But I'll give you a short understanding that Tailwind is better than Bootstrap. I'm not saying no offense, and I'm not picking any sides on which framework is better, but preferably I choose Tailwind instead of Bootstrap because Bootstrap is kind of old and kind of rusty. different from Tailwind. It's a little bit new, and you can do a lot of experiment in Tailwind itself. And then the last go to Laravel. So different from those two frameworks that we just talked about, Laravel focus on the back end section. All right, let's go to the documentation, shall we? No, I don't like it. So, Laravel itself, they have a lot of version from 4.2 to 11.x. Yeah, they have a lot of version. And the installation of this Laravel itself is a little bit more complicated than the basic uh, front end front end framework, because uh, Laravel itself, it utilize on the back end. Yeah, so it's a quite it's not it's hard to explain on what is the difference between Tailwind and Laravel. Yeah, the same thing, that they are frameworks, but the different thing on how they use Laravel itself. They primarily used on back end, yeah, back end section, on those data consuming things, data people that focus on creating data and then managing those data itself. And Laravel actually uses both Bootstrap and framework. I mean, Bootstrap and Tailwind as their front end view, if you want to make the website looks good. I'm not kidding. They use Tailwind and Bootstrap. So you can make a front end without a back end, but you cannot make a back end without a front end. Because if you just make a back end, you just literally make a database without something or a thing that the user will see it. Like for example, okay, let's give you guys an example. Wait, let me open a new tab first. Oh, it's lagging. Maybe a lot of you guys have heard this website before. It's called Tokopedia. So, why I'm showing you this website? Because Tokopedia itself uses a back end. How, you may ask? Because it's not just a static website. It's a website that can update itself, update the sales, and then, oh, sorry, verification. It's a little bit annoying. Yeah, okay, back again. So, a static website is a website that yeah, just just like that, and then will not change for a long period of time. While Tokopedia itself, it uses back end, and then we don't know if this website uses Laravel as its framework. But my point is, if you want to create a website that has a function on creating a data, you need to looks also. You need to make the front end version of it, the thing or the place that the user will see and then use your website. Yeah. All right. To let's go back to our Laravel again. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Installation. I mean Laravel. Why Laravel? Creating Laravel project. You can click. So this is a guide, like some links that if you click it, it will just show you to the place that you've clicked. So yeah, why Laravel? There are a variety of tools and framework available to you when building a web application. However, we believe Laravel is the best choice for building modern full stack web application. So it's a full stack web application because it uses both the back end and front end itself and a progressive framework. We like to call Laravel a progressive framework. By that, we mean that Laravel grows with you. If you're just taking your first steps into web development, Laravel's vast library of documentation guides and feed tutorials will help you learn the ropes without becoming overwhelmed. All right, I think that's all I can say about frameworks. And thank you for all the people that have watched the video throughout, finished it until the end. Really thank you for the people once again. And yeah, that's all that I can explain to you about frameworks. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi